Hi, I'm Lou with another episode of My Car Story. Today we're in the western suburbs of Illinois on a perfect day, and I have Bruce Grabenkort, and we've got a great 50s car for you. Bruce, what year, make, and model is this one?
It's a 1956 Packard 400 hardtop.
You're gonna like this one. So Bruce, first of all, the colors on this, come on alongside me. This just screams the 50s. Wow. There's a lot going on there. What is the color combo on this one?
It's Dover white and Erie green. There are 47 of these hardtops produced in that color combination in 1956.
Wow, I like how it has the Batmobile kind of headlamp here. The V for the V8 in this one. You could see the gold backing there. The bumpers here called the Dagmars, based on a 50s actress where, well, you can kind of guess. So the other things as we come, tell me about this hood ornament, Bruce.
Well, this is Packard's last incarnation of what they called the cormorant. And
The cormorant.
Cormorant, which is actually a bird.
Oh.
And you see it here. This is what it looked like.
Let me get closer there, so. Okay, I got it. There's the bird.
Crest.
Got it.
So those cormorants were used on Packards from the beginning to the end, basically. And this is the 1956 version of a cormorant.
Got it. Wow, that is cool. As we look at the windshield, you can see that it has some tinting to that. We also have dual mirrors. Notice the windshield wipers go inside out. And as we step back, I'll take a step back before we get closer to it. Wow. That's cool. Chrome is splashed all over the side of this car. Tell me about that center insert. That's interesting. What do we have there?
Well, what we have with the kind of clear lens or opaque lens is what is called a puddle light.
This one here.
Exactly.
Got it.
And that, when the door opens, the light goes on, so
There it
you can
is.
see where you're going.
But tell me about this strip here.
Well, that's affectionately called Reynolds wrap on the car because, as you can see, it goes from front to back. It was actually produced by Reynolds Aluminum for
Really?
the Packard Motor Company, and that was all one color, but eventually was painted so you have a kind of a pinstripe effect.
Tell me about these wheels. They look like Kelsey Hayes wheels, but they're not.
They are not Kelsey Hayes wheels, which are kind of common on the car. These are for hubcaps, but they were a factory provided option that the dealer would install.
So they're actually hubcaps, although they look like wire wheels.
They do.
And this would be a ton of weight on wire wheels. I mean, my goodness. Look at the turn signal, how it goes right around so you get it on the side and the front.
Well, Packard was some of the first to have wraparound side turn signals and that kind of thing. That was kind of new for 56.
That's great. Even like the little extra indentation on the chrome there. Just really, really good stuff. Tell me about the 400. Why the name for the 400? This is interesting.
Well, it's kind of humorous at the same time. It has nothing to do with the car per se, but Packard thought it would be great to honor the 400 richest families in the state of in New York City.
Yeah. So they put that there like so. Look at the chrome, how it comes off the windshield, down the side, in through the door. And then you have this nice crest back here again.
Yeah, that's the family crest, Packard
Wow.
family crest.
That just looks great. How long have you had this one since?
Bought the car in 2016.
And the Packard there. We'll actually turn it around for you with the trunk and treats, but you've got the dual antennas. Let's take a look under the hood, shall we? We've got our gas cap there, like so, and even how the chrome smooths into that. So we start off with our horns under here, they smooth that over, and we've got this cushion underneath the hood showing you to keep it quiet under here. Tell me about this air filter.
Air filter is a little unusual, but very typical back to the 50s, that it is an oil-based air filter as opposed to having a paper filter in it. There's a little ring of oil in the bottom of it to catch any dirt flying in.
Got it. I also noticed that you have right over the heater box, there's the heater box, you have the number for the car.
That's for security sake, sort of like a serial number on the car
Exactly.
in case of theft.
Now right here we've got, what, the alternator?
This is a generator.
Generator, okay.
Yeah, before the days of alternators, this is a generator built by Delco.
Clearly we've got the chrome valve covers on here. Tell me about those.
Dealer installed option that wasn't standard from the factory. That was something you could add to the car for a little more bling, I suppose.
Yeah, I like how they have the wires all there. Tell me what these are.
Well, these
There's
are something.
One on each side.
Yeah, there's one on each side.
Too. Go ahead.
They were installed later. This is not a factory option. Maybe by the dealer, I don't know. It's in the manifold to try to help the car breathe better for acceleration.
Okay.
I think they're more for decoration than anything else.
And you can see the 4, the 2, the firing order right there.
Order. Yep. Of the spark plugs.
We have the information there on the breather cap, it looks like.
It's where you would put fresh oil in.
You got your gas.
Yeah. Fuel filter
Fuel
down
filter,
there.
thank you. And then not your fuel filter, your fuel pump.
A fuel pump.
Right. And then over here we have our power steering.
Power steering, reservoir, and pump.
Oh, that's great. And then this was interesting too. Right on top, you have your oil filter. Is that an option?
It was an option at the time, and surprisingly enough, I don't know what would regulate your oil changes back then, but there is a Napa oil filter canister that's in there, and
nice.
Filters out the oil.
I see
It's
some
replaceable.
Yeah, I see some lettering on the front of the manifold here that the water goes right into directly into the heads.
Mm-hmm.
You get the separate manifold. Let's fire it up, shall we?
Sure.
Tell you what, when you get in there, we'll have you stay in there. We'll have you beep the horn. One other thing too, that sometimes when you shut this car off, you can hear the hydraulics which level it off. Beep the horn if you would, please. Oh, nice. One more time. That'll get you out of the way. Can you step on the brakes for a moment? Wow. That's great. Listen to this, how smooth. Sounds like a luxury liner. Go ahead, Bruce, give it a rev. Oh my. That's wonderfully smooth. Just fantastic. And we're gonna turn it around for you. We turn it around, and it's just got a great back end. Now this is something interesting with the Packard. Notice the back end is dropped a little bit. It's not level. Watch what I'm talking about. Bruce, go ahead, show me how this car will level itself. So if he pushes down on it, wait for it, it'll do that. That's great. That's pretty cool. So we have the 400 spelled out. I love this crest. Now watch how this opens. Bruce, show me how this opens. This is so cool. We've got that aluminum through there, and it's actually going back down. Cool. The tail lights, the exhaust through the bumper. You have the sound deadening up here. This is the Patrician. We have the 50s luggage matching the car, outstanding. The nice houndstooth piece here. Oh, this is just great. The Patrician, the 400, the Caribbean series, and I'll come back for you, but I'll let you read that. And here's the interiors. So let's take a look at the overall. And you have one of these too.
I have a Clipper.
Clipper,
Yeah.
got it. We'll show you this, the 56 Packard Owner's Manual, the Packard Power Story.
talk about the new V8.
The mighty V8 action. The 310. Your torsion ride suspension, which we just saw in action. That was pretty cool. Torsion ride level. Unmatched. Like this, not this. This, not this. That's great. And it shows how it works underneath your car there. That's pretty cool. What it is. That's great. Torsion ride, the automatic levelizer. You don't see that every day. Your owner's manual, I won't go through every one of them, but you'll get the picture. Your identification card. Welcome to the Packard family. Parking brake. But this one I do want to show you, because this is great. And this is more of what you've seen here where it folds out. The greatest Packard of them all. Let me let you open that a little bit while I hold the camera, if you would. Thanks. It's so much fun to see these pieces, isn't it?
Okay, this looks familiar to you, but
Yeah.
it also
As the Super 4-door.
has the Clipper line for 1956.
Yeah,
So this would have been a step down from the 400 or the Patrician.
yeah. Wow. Speaking of this distinctive styling, let's make sure that we show them the, and this is more of what you just saw with the this, not this, and the power plant. All this great pieces accordingly. May I take them to the interior?
Absolutely.
Thank you. This interior is just tremendous. First of all, look at the pageantry on this door. Look at the pageantry on that door. Like so. That matches your piece on the hood. Let me show you that. Wow. If you look at the back seat, first of all, you're greeted to the Packard emblem there. There's your adjuster. The word Packard greets you. If we pull up the back seat, you have wonderful upholstery there. You can see how it flows all the way through the car. And even in here, you have the power window, your ashtrays, and your lights. And look at the insert with the chrome pieces, just chrome everywhere. Nothing held back. So let's get closer. We have our power, our pedals. We have this great crest right in your chest. Those are ashtrays. Let me just show you what one looks like if you pull it out. Like so. Lights, antenna, wipers. That's the car leveling itself out again. That's great. That's what that noise was. And look at just that speedometer. That's jewelry. Just jewelry. This is clearly our drive mechanisms, your park, reverse, neutral, drive, low and high. Bruce will share a little bit with that when we take a ride, how that works. Notice the glove box up the center, your Packard radio, the clock, yes, that still works. And even the passenger is treated to that beautiful dashboard. You have a day-night mirror, I see. Just fantastic. And even we've got kind of the Packard piece there in the center off this chrome piece. Well, that's just fantastic. I'll show you that one more time. Well, Bruce, I think we need to take him for a ride.
Let's go.
Here we are, the 56 Packard, the 400. And even the dogs run after us. Look at that. They love it. Get a little, the big dogs chasing us. How do you like driving this thing?
It handles very well, and it's easy to drive. The brakes you have to kind of watch. You know, this is a heavy car, and
How heavy?
Well, about 4,500 pounds, and disc brakes all the way around. So you kind of have to plan ahead a little bit. But as long as you keep that in mind, it's very easy to drive.
I actually thought it was going to be a little heavier than 4,500 pounds. This feels like a heavy car. I mean, when we're on the road, you feel like you are on the road in this car. And share with me, how does that, you said this is electronic?
This is the gear selector. We'll stop here for a second.
Yeah.
Obviously, the car, to shift the car into what you want to do, this is reverse for R for reverse, P for park, and then it has drive, high, and low. Low would be if you're on a grade of some sort. High is for more highway driving. It drops the RPMs of the engine, better fuel economy.
Yeah.
And then neutral.
Got it.
But this is all a pod that controls a small motor underneath the car that helps change the gears within the transmission.
So it's just off the stock like that.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Perfect. All right, let's put it in drive. Let's see what we got here. Let's show people where we're at. What a beautiful spot today. What a beautiful car. We've got a slight tinting to the windshield, which gives us that. Even the leg room, like look, my knees are there, and you can see that, you know, you're away from it. So you got a lot of room. Oh, that's just wonderful. What's the reaction when you're driving this car?
I get a lot of thumbs up, and one fellow this morning just rolled down his window and nodded, which was interesting.
I approve. Very nice. Well, I can understand why people would approve this car. We look good here. When you take it to the get some gas, is it an instant friend maker and everybody stops and talks to you? Or?
Well, yes, to answer your question, there was one time I was at a local gas station. It was nighttime and the overhead lights were on it. And this pickup truck circled it about 3 times. And he stopped me and said, I won't quote him directly, that car is effing awesome. And I went, okay, thank you. Not the adjective I'd use. But anyway, it was
a memorable moment.
A memorable moment, yes.
Look at, speaking of memorable moments, look at this. This is a 2-lane road with some country. We're right back in 1956. Just like that. That is just great. Now, do you take this on any long trips? Or, I mean, it feels like you could. You feel like you can go from New York to California in this car.
Well, I have taken it around Wisconsin and Indiana, places like that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put it under a whole lot of pressure.
Now tell me the story. How did you get interested in Packards?
Well, my grandfather had Packards from 1939 to 1956.
Really?
The last car he had, the 56 Packard Clipper, was something that I remember riding in.
Yeah.
And then when I started looking for what I call a weekend car, I started looking. It took me a couple years to find a Packard that I liked, but I thought, well, that's Grandpa's car, so I was very comfortable with it.
We're gonna make a right here. Yeah. When you finally saw this one, you said you were at a car show, and I just want to show people, there's the working clock as well. Look at that. That's just a beautiful piece of jewelry.
The radio works as well, although it's just AM.
Yeah.
And everything works on the car, which is unusual. Typically the clock doesn't. The radio might not work.
Right.
They work on this car.
This car has it all going on. What was Packard made of?
It was Detroit. It had a very large 33-acre parcel there. Most of the factory's gone now.
Yeah.
But literally the car came in as a chunk of iron and left the factory as a new car. They did all of it there.
We just continue to show people where we're at. Oh, it just cruises along. I like how that bird on the hood, the jet on the hood kind of directs its path.
Well, that was the final incarnation. They call that Cormorant. And that's the final incarnation of that, where they tried to give it a little more modern look.
Yeah.
And obviously, now that the car had a V8 engine as of 1955, just trying to modernize the whole Packard look.
Well, what a wonderful car. What a great time. Bruce, you're a great caretaker of this beautiful car. Thanks so much for being on My Car Story.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate your time, and this has been a lot of fun.
You're welcome.